Yo, you're muted, I reckon. Hey, how are we all? I'm True Blue. Welcome to DeFi Down Under Happy Hour, and 43 was good enough to jump in right in the countdown there. So, how are you, man?
I'm good, mate, but I'm having some audio issues, so just give me a second.
That's cool.
While you do
Yep.
the intro, and I'll try and get my stuff sorted.
No, you're all good. No worries. I will maybe give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go, or you mute yourself or whatever. That's cool. Anyway, say g'day to the chat here. We got Magic Carpet Ride in there. G'day. I'm assuming that's Ty. I was talking to you earlier on the Telegram, so thanks for coming in and sharing the show. That's bloody awesome. And it's all talking about beers, hey? Doz is in there, and he's a few drinks deep. Hey, mate, if you keep bragging about those beers, we might just have to put you in time out for the afternoon, even though it's your show. But yeah, so everyone that's out there, Dozer is off on a holiday this week. So he was silly enough to give me the reins, and along with 43 OG would be here, give me a hand. But this is the first ever live stream that I've done or tried to run or anything. So it's going to be plenty of mistakes, and I don't know what I'm doing. And you'll probably leave halfway through. But anyway, there's always a first, so it's cool. How we going there with the audio?
It's all good.
No good yet.
No,
you're cool.
So I've just got this. I'm not sure why this is happening, but I've just got this issue where your audio is not playing through my headphones.
Yeah, right.
New stuff, and this is what happens when you join streams at the last minute and you've got a slightly different setup. Because as anyone who's watched the Hex Late Show knows, my setup on the Hex Late Show is slightly different than my setup on this show, because I'm
that's right.
So I'm just
usually you're sounding a lot better too. I reckon your mic's also coming maybe through your computer or something, or it's far away.
That's what I'm trying to work out. Why can't I edit the audio?
Yeah, it might be in your settings. In your Windows settings. Yeah, no worries. I'll see you when you get back. I'll wing it. But anyway, hopefully 43 is back shortly. There's a few things I wanted to talk about today. One, there might be some that will wait for 43, or even if Jaxa manages to pop in at some point. But we've got a couple of new things that have just come out recently, and I'm going to try and share this up now. Just this week, and I know 43 touched on it on the Hex Late Show, which was, I think, the second or third to last show. So you better get in there and watch the last ones. But we had Pool Party that's just launched. So that's from the Maximus DAO guys. And they are doing all their new... Oh, hang on. All right. We might have 43 back. You're back. That sounds much better, man. Okay. You got me?
Yeah. I was a bit hasty when I came in last time. I didn't do my audio settings properly, and but no, we're all good now. We're all good.
Right. You're trying to be a good bloke and come and rescue me, so it's all good.
No, dude, I'm here every week, so we're all good, man. We're all good.
No, that's right.
Are we looking at Pool Party? Are we?
Yeah. Well, I wish they had a dark mode. Come on, guys. But anyway, this is the new Pool Party website. So they're doing all the new stake pools going along with the Maxi, Desi, Trio, and Lucky, which you've already touched on, 43. But yeah.
I've just realized, sorry to cut in, I've just realized something extremely important for the happy hour. And that is that we haven't got our drink. So can you just bear with me? I've got to run across the room and grab my drink. I'll be back in about 30 seconds.
Go for it. So while he's gone, I've got my little jar here ready to roll, which is very nice. It's got a bit of something with some Pepsi Max. got to stay sugar free. And I bet 43 will be on. I reckon he'll be drinking a orange infused mineral water. Orange infused mineral water. 43. Is that what you're on? Look out! We got it on the money.
There you go.
Yeah. So this is our very nice. So this is our happy hour we do every week, and we just get together and chill out and talk about a bit about crypto and Hex and PulseChain, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just related to that. So anyone that's in the chat that wants to bring anything up, do it. Give us something else to talk about. So yeah, cheers, mate.
Absolutely. Cheers, mate. Cheers.
So yeah, this pool party I think is really cool. The fact that we can now create stakes where we all join together in a pool. You could do such thing as like a DeFi Down Under pool or something like that, where you could encourage everyone to get into, even for other influencers, to build their own Hex stake pool, name it what their influencer name, or if they're running a business, and they could encourage people to jump in and stake their Hex, and almost put a hedge on it where they might not even think or really look at it as Hex. It's this guy's stake pool where they could earn yield and that sort of stuff. So I think that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And I think this is the way I see it. If you're going to do pooled stakes, the whole point of a pooled stake is to, like, what you got to ask yourself the question: what's the point of a pooled stake?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a couple of things, right? On the Ethereum side, the point of a pooled stake is that you can divide up that end stake cost, right, between multiple people. So that's going to be cheaper, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But the other thing that and this is for both sides, whether it's PulseChain or Ethereum, and that is that to get that bigger pays better bonus, right? If you can get enough people together to get 150 million Hex stake,
absolutely,
that's an extra T shares that you would get that you're not otherwise getting. So that's something that you would do, that you'd want to be doing on PulseChain, because otherwise, the end stake cost on PulseChain, I think for the foreseeable future is going to be pretty reasonable. I can't imagine the end stake on PulseChain being, $600-700 anytime. Like, I can't imagine that being for many, many years, like into the future. Like, and if, by the way, if that eventually does happen and end stakes on PulseChain are that high, let's say in 10, 15 years time, wouldn't you be happy to be holding Pulse if that was the case? Like,
100%,
like how expensive is Pulse at that point if that was the case? So, I wouldn't be crying, I wouldn't be crying about that.
I agree. Yeah, that's for sure. A high Pulse price will be good for everyone except for the new onboarders that are coming in. So, not sure how that'll work for the others feeling that, but we know about the upgrades to Ethereum that we might get that'll help the end stake fees and stuff anyway over time. But yeah, in a way it would be nice if Pulse stayed a bit lower for the new people to come on, but a lot of people have put quite a bit of money into Pulse now where they'd hate to see it staying low. So I think we're all going to go up anyway, so that's all good.
It's interesting, the trajectory of Pulse, like price performance. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to compare it to Ethereum in the same way.
No, yeah.
Like I think it's going to be different because what was Ethereum? Ethereum came out as the first sort of premier smart contract platform, but were smart contracts even a thing early on? Early on in Ethereum, were like, how much of a thing were they? I don't even know when ERC20 standard came out, like how early it was. I'm sure there's some people who know. I could probably look it up. When did ERC20 20.
I mean, yeah, that was the whole idea, behind Ethereum in the beginning. But yeah, it took a long time for those sort of things to actually happen and be developed. Which is why we like the Ethereum side versus, even though Bitcoin has had good price appreciation, you can do so much more with Ethereum.
And I guess the point of me bringing that up was that PulseChain launched with all of the contracts from Ethereum, but everything already working at a level of Ethereum from launch.
Yeah,
pretty much at the level of Ethereum from launch. Whereas Ethereum sort of built up to the point where it didn't get like dexes until proper dexes until 2000. It didn't get Uniswap until 2019.
Exactly. Yep. No, that's right. It's all still relatively new, all that high development there.
So that, I guess that's the major difference. So between PulseChain and Ethereum as far as their growth. So I think it would be wrong to look at Ethereum's growth and PulseChain's like price performance and say, oh, this one's going to follow what Ethereum did. I think they're going to have they'll have their own paths of what they do, like how they do what they do, and a part of what might help PulseChain and what we think might help PulseChain is the fact that Ethereum is going to become largely unusable for smaller players when gas fees get out of hand, and gas fees and prices get out of hand, when it's both, because unlike a send where you can just lock something in and say, hey, whenever this goes through, it goes through. I'll just wait till it dips and it will go through. When you're trading tokens, right, it's time sensitive because the prices move. So unless you're willing to put your slippage up heaped, like you're going to miss out, and then you're going to lose. You're going to have spent money, gas money on a trade. So there's all these factors that come into it, I guess.
No, that's right. You can't sit on the sidelines waiting to make a trade just to wait for the gas fees to improve, because you could be waiting forever. And then, there's no point in the end. So trading on Ethereum's hard for smaller players, that's for sure. The bigger whales, what do they care if they're spending, $100 on a swap or something in the ball, or even if it's more. But yeah, definitely, I don't want to be playing out there. We know the better alternative. I'll show you. I'll just bring up where are we? Try and get this actual app page of the pool party up. Still get used to this. Here we go. So these are the mintable pools at the moment. There's nothing. Well, there's nothing there really with a whole heap of hex in it. But it's looking like it's still getting used, and there's a few starting up. The longest one there being a Quattrocinco bidet 5555, but with only 2,000 hex in there. Yeah, but and then you've got the organizer fee. So obviously, whoever makes that smart contract of that pool, that hex pool, puts an organizer fee in there, and they get a percentage, or they could always say what they're going to do with the percentage, or use it for gas fees or something like that, I'm assuming. But yeah, there's not a whole heap, except for, where are we? This one here's got 189,000 for 55 days. So people are sort of testing the waters and giving the system a go, I think, at the moment, which is pretty cool. I haven't clicked on any of these, so let's try this one and see what happens. Oh, we've experienced an error. I've got a wallet. Do I? Now, if anyone wants to try and get into this wallet, feel free, because there's nothing in there. It's not going to be fun to do this. I'll do this after, and we might have another look in there. But anyway, there's a few people playing around in there, which would be cool. It might take off. Once we really start moving into the bull cycle, and people start wanting to buy hex and realize what it's good for, putting it away for a while. So it'll be interesting. So the other thing they've got going is the pool party staking and that sort of stuff. I'm not really too clued up on it, on the actual rewards, what you get when you do that. So I'm not going to comment on it. But do you know anything about it, 43?
The pool party staking.
Yeah, so as in staking the pool party token.
No. Haven't looked into it, mate.
No,
haven't looked into it at the moment. I know that there's a claimable airdrop based on a number of parameters, which is probably listed on their website. But I know one of them was whether you hold perpetuals. Another like Maxi. Actually, is Maxi a perpetual? Is it considered perpetual?
Yes, it is. Yep.
It's considered a perpetual. Yep. Okay. Because
Yep,
Maxi was first, and then they came out with the perpetuals after. But I guess Maxi's a part of that, under that umbrella as well, because it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing that is important to point out about this protocol is, or this contract, is that it allows the minting of Communist token and Hedron, which are essentially airdrops that go to hex stakers. Yep. They're claimable airdrops that go to hex stakers. So they're there if you claim them, and if you don't claim them before the end of your stake or whatever the rules are, you miss out. A lot of people miss out on Hedron. A lot of people miss out on Communist. Communist is still early days.
Yep.
So that's something to always remember. Now you said Magic Carpet Ride was in the chat. I actually wouldn't mind hearing, because he's done something, or his team, not sure what the structure is, have done something. Stakehouse, is that? Yep. I'm not even sure if Stakehouse is out yet. I thought I heard it was.
I don't think it's out just yet. I think it's going on testnet still. But what they've got out is Barista. But yeah, I'm sure if Magic Carpet Ride's in there, they might comment on that. Just quickly, I'll just bring this back up. Not very smooth, but getting the hang of this. Here we go. So this is where you claim the airdrop in the DApp. So you just go to app.hexpool.party, and then you can claim airdrop. So I know some of the parameters are if you hold the perpetual tokens before the PulseChain fork, where we actually got our copied tokens. So I believe anything you've purchased in the meantime between Pulse starting and where we are now, the snapshot, you don't get anything for. I could be wrong, so please let me know if I'm wrong on that, but I believe it's only for before the Pulse launch. And the other ones are the Gophers, if you own any of those, the ERC 404s. They were part of the snapshot. Same with the team token. And what was the other one? Same with Water as well. They released a token called Water.
It's interesting that things like Gopher, they took a snapshot closer to the date, and things like the perpetuals, they did it from the fork back in May exactly. Last year. It's interesting. So they actually did put some thought into how people, what people were going to be able to claim. They didn't just say, oh, we're just going to give everyone loads of stuff. They've put some thought into it, which is actually bullish for the price of party token, because it means they just haven't indiscriminately given it out left, right, and center to everyone, every man and his dog.
Exactly. Yep, I agree. And I think they're looking for the people that have been holding for a while, which is good. I like to see them, not just throwing it out there, because then you get a lot of dumping, as you're saying. We could expect better price appreciation on the party token if you're a holder. I'm just trying to find the probably shouldn't be doing this while I'm trying to stream, but I'm just looking for the parameters there for the snapshot.
So maybe what they did, what they did was they said, okay, who supported our products from the start? Like anyone who held them at the fork. Obviously, they weren't the original. They weren't necessarily the original minters back when they perpetuals were released or when Maxi was released. But it's early enough to have believed in the product prior to the fork. So maybe they've just said, "Hey, for that one, we're just going to say the fork because it's too far back to go to when they were minted." But things like gophers and that's much more recent. We're talking the last couple of weeks with that.
Yep, that's right. I was just scrolling through Dipcatcher's page and on X, and it's just gophers just all over it. It's like trying to find something important, and all you get is the gophers. I've found it. So where are we? Can you see that? That's come up.
I can't see it.
You can't see it? I've just shared it.
Oh, yeah, I can see it now. There we go.
Okay, cool. So, so basically you've got the airdrop supply allocation for name claim, which was their NFT for name claiming for the pool party, I believe. They've got the water token, team, gophers, all the Maximus pre-pulse is what they're highlighting there, and anything that was held in liquidity as well. So the action, deposited in name claim and water, held on either chain. Yep.
They're rewarding people who have supported their projects and the holders, and probably less anyone who has sort of been more opportunistic and bought up the tokens when they're at bad prices, if you know what I mean. So they've so anyone who's bought like the Maximus stuff after the fork because the prices have been very favorable in terms of X, then they haven't done anything for them. But that's right. Which is not necessarily a bad thing anyway. It's like I said, they've sort of put some thought into how their distribution model, which is good, I think.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, I mean, if I remember correctly, I reckon the Maximus stake pool launched probably around, it was just downwards of 20 cent mark, I reckon, of Hex. So if you've been holding that long, I think you ought to deserve a bonus of some description, some kind of airdrop, given the prices are at now. That's Absolutely. For sure. So, where are we? Sorry, trying to get this right.
I was starting to move backwards. I thought my face is way too big on the screen right now.
I haven't done enough playing around with this during the week. So just say hey to people in the chat. Kongi's there. I might have seen you in here once or twice, but yeah, thanks for coming in. Awesome. Dozza has had a few beers and reckons Hex is going to be $1. So let's go. That's for sure.
I think it's Klaz who's
that's Klaz.
Dozza's, what's up, Klaz? What's up, Dozza?
Hey, Klaz. What's happening? I hope you're having a good time. You deserve a bit of time away. Hopefully a few minutes without little ones hanging around as well. It's always nice. Bobbler guy. How you going, man? Loving the mullet in that avatar. You've been hanging that for a while.
I wonder how current that mullet is. I wonder how
Yeah, that might have grown out by now. We never know. You got to update it, Bobbler guy.
Is it even a mullet or just like a squirrel that just lives on the back of his head?
That's right. Speaking of squirrels, I saw a thing on X today of someone undoing the bottom of a light post where there's a little access sort of hole.
Those covers.
Yeah, like a cover. And it was a full light post or power pole, and they opened the bottom of it and it was just full of nuts from like a from a squirrel just hiding them, and it must have been hoarding them in there for years. But it was like they just kept pouring out. Yeah, it was quite funny. But yeah, Don Swan claiming party tokens on Monday evening.
You wouldn't be happy if you're that squirrel. You'd be pretty dark. Like, I've been working for years for that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all gone, all on the road now. Yeah, you got to look out for the right time for the gas fees. That's for sure. Here we go. What's Park Lazalence? He's going to tell us about his mullet. Where are we? Oh, he'd have to hire a detective to find the guy in that picture. I see. That's all right then. So we're here showing our faces, mate. Come on. Could at least show us your real haircut. Speaking of gas fees and Ethereum things related, did you happen to see the price of Ethereum lately?
It pumped over $3,000 US recently.
Yeah, it did.
And now it's back under, but it's good to see that get up there.
That's for sure. I think the gas fees, I didn't check what they were at, but they got pretty high for a little while there while that sort of rally was on, going above 3,000. But it's been, the last time we were at that price was about the 6th of May 22 on the way down. So almost 2 years ago. But it's looking pretty good. So yeah, I was pretty happy just to see it launch above that price. See if I can get I'm no TA guy, so don't have a go at me with that, but see if I can get it without a bit closer to the real price we got. Yeah, sort of just peaked over the 3,000 mark, and everyone saw a sell signal, I reckon.
You know, both of us are not TA guys, but I would bet that we're both TNA guys.
Yeah, that is for sure. I reckon we are. Yeah, no, good one. So it's after a couple more drinks, eh?
So it's still about 30, maybe 35% down on its all-time high, compared to Bitcoin, which is, what did Bitcoin get to? How close to its all-time high? Let's see.
Oh, Bitcoin as in recently?
Yeah, what was it? Got to 52?
Yeah, I don't know if this is the right.
So what's that? So that's like only 20, that got to 52, which is only 25% down from its all-time high. So Ethereum is, as far as performance relative to its all-time high, is lagging behind BTC. BTC is trailblazing.
Yeah, 100% it is. Can you get I'm not going to go too far with this, but yeah, it looks like BTC. This is ETH versus Bitcoin.
Okay. Yep. Can we zoom out?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we zoom out more? Yeah, like heaps.
Oh, let's go. Let's take it back out a bit further. We need to zoom out. Crap loads. How good am I, by the way? There we go. Now we can zoom in.
Excellent.
Get me some
doing an amazing job there, mate.
Someone in the background, eh? Anyway, that's on the monthly, so we're not going to see anything. I mean, that's showing us a fair bit, but yeah, we got Bitcoin seems to be sort of heading back in front there. But yeah, we'll see what happens over time. I think we're waiting for that Ethereum.
We can see that. So we've had a nice green candle there, and there's a few months back we had a pretty big red candle that just dumped down, and then it was. So the question is Ethereum going to make a bit of a comeback against BTC? Now, you would think it would, but is it gonna make, like, is it gonna beat? I don't know. Like we didn't beat that 2018 ratio between the two, did we? In 2021.
No, that's right. Yeah, I reckon ETH is going to come back pretty hard. I mean, especially if we get the things happening with the ETFs and that. A lot of people are saying it's still sort of 50-50 of what could happen there on if it's actually going to happen. Whereas with BTC, there was a lot more confidence. I think it was above sort of 90% confidence that it was actually going to come through. But if it does come through, that might just hype the market whether the big investors actually get in or not. But I think it would give it a lot of hype to build up again.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll see. But I mean, in saying all that, we want Pulse to be pushing there the things that we're most interested in, just so we can, because a lot of the coins are tied to that. Pretty much everything is, and we'd love to see that pumping. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, it's going to happen. Just a matter of time. I think that whole patience thing, especially another pump on it that we had, not long ago, we had a decent pump up in the prices, but I think it won't be long before we see it to follow, what's going on with the rest of the market. A lot of coins are going pretty hard at the moment. I got a mate that's into the, he bought some World coin, which I didn't want to touch because of just the whole idea of everyone, they were scanning eyeballs and that sort of stuff. And he just keeps sending me screenshots every day of the price going up. So we need to get our comeback already.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, mate. We'll see what happens. We have to see what I was going to ask. There's a bit of I saw a bit of chatter back and forth about between Somi and KDP on Twitter.
Yeah.
And they and it's like they're at different ends of the spectrum on this particular point. And it's sort of this. It seems like it's sort of an arbitrary thing to be arguing about. Like, to me, like it is what it is, because every token's different, right?
Yeah.
Every coin, every token's different.
Yeah.
But they were arguing, like, are we already in alt season? And Somi's like, yes, we're already halfway through alt season.
Yeah.
It's just that the RH tokens haven't pumped, right? Like properly pumped. They've pumped from the all-time, from the low, the recent low, but they haven't like pumped like other stuff has. And and KDP was like on the site, but she didn't name names or anything. She just said, she basically said anyone saying that, where the altcoin season has started is like, it hasn't,
Yeah.
So what do you reckon, man?
Do
you have an opinion on it? Like, you don't need to if you don't. Like, it's
look, I think we're just at the start of we've been in the start of the bull for a long time now. I know Tangent's been hanging on that as well, at the very beginning. It's like, but what do you class as the bull market? So I would say we're still
definition. That's a good point. What's the definition of a bull market? So, and we've had this discussion, I think, from time to time.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say, once you stop going down and you start going up, turn around, you're in a bull market. Now, like, it's I think anyone with like a very hex and pulse centric perspective, they're like, no, how can we really be? And it's like, well, just look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, the two biggest, like those two are the biggest proportion of value. And, Bitcoin's low was 15 grand. Ethereum's low, what was it? 700-800? Like, I don't remember it exactly.
Yeah, I think it's about the 850 or something, 800. Yep.
And now BTC is over 3x above the low
Yeah.
And so is Ethereum. So, based on that, and it's been a while since those prices were. I mean, when was BTC 15 grand? Like it.
Yeah, exactly. It was about January, December, January 23.
So over a year ago.
22. Yep,
And
exactly.
all we've done is go up from there. All
Look
we've
at
done
those.
is,
They're monthly candles. I mean, if you go look back here at these, we're starting to build those up again. So we're definitely in a bull. There's no doubt
11,
about that.
11 green candles with 3 red candles.
Yeah.
So that's a total of 14 candles, but only 3 of them were red. So that is most definitely, like, I think it's fair to say that when Tangent was saying we're in the bull market, like, quite obviously looking at that chart, he has been right about that
100% right. Yeah.
Since when he was saying it like in 2023 early. He was saying it early, like
he was January, February. He was saying it. I remember him being quite loud about it, and so he should be if he knew it.
So as far as BTC goes, absolutely, well and truly in the bull market. Now, same with the alts, right? Like, because it's like, is crypto in the bull market? It's like, yes. Is your crypto pumping? That's a different story. Like, that's different. That's a different question, right. So is Hex in the because what the alts do? Alts like pump really hard, really quickly, like super quickly. They can do, like, in the course of a month or 3 weeks, you can pump, like, you can do a 10x in 3 weeks, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You can do crazy things really quickly. So what would that mean for example, Hex or Pulse? Well, if Hex, and I'm going to take both sides of Hex here. If Hex was to pump a 10x from here, would be an aggregate of like 26 cents. I don't think anyone would be crying about, if that was to happen. No one. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not, obviously everyone's hanging out for something like that to happen, but that could happen in a very short amount of time. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, I knew that, we all knew this was going to happen at some point. It's just a matter of just waiting and seeing when.
Yeah. I really think we're just at, in the bull run. I wouldn't say it's alt season, because I don't think they're popping off like we should expect them to, versus Bitcoin or Ethereum, which are the market leaders. So,
but there have been some, haven't there? There have been some.
Yeah, some have been going hard. Yeah.
So do you know what's interesting, dude?
Yeah.
This is interesting. So sorry, I keep like jumping in. I need to shut up a bit. Like, actually, I got to let you run the show. But I just want to. Isn't it interesting now in hindsight that we look back and we say, oh yeah, the bull run started in December, January was when it started last year. What pumped in the first 3? Well, like, what pumped its balls off in the first 3 months of last year?
Yeah, what,
from like
Hex?
from 1 cent to 12 cents.
Yeah. Hex went bloody psycho.
So if we want to like truly say what started the bull run, the bull run? Hex started the bull run with a crazy 12x pump.
Yeah,
it started the bull run, and then like, we've had all sorts of stuff happen. The Pulse launched in between. We've had all sorts of like SEC FUD and stuff happen. Like, there's all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. And now we're just hanging back, looking at everything, just saying, when's going to be our time? Yeah.
No, that's exactly right. We are sort of hanging on that, aren't we?
We are,
so
absolutely.
What you were talking about here. This is that the move you were talking about? January 20. Oh no, sorry, that's 24. My bad. Here, this one. What year were you talking about? You were talking about
2023.
Yeah, where we got that.
January 20. Is this Hex USDC? Yep. January.
Yeah, hang on, somewhere here. There we go. So
Jan 23. Yeah. So from there to that top of, I think just before, like in March, they're right
the
there.
12 cents, where a lot of people should have sold. But yeah.
And then where do we get that massive dump is in May.
Yeah.
And then we're just going down. And then there's SEC FUD in August.
Yeah. So there was that roughly around here was PulseChain launch.
And and people need to understand that, like anyone who doesn't know, that dump there in May coincides with there being another, like a fork of everyone's hex,
a stock split.
PulseChain. That was, it was a stock split. So there's, at that point, you have to then, if you want to be like fair about it, you need to add the values of both of them together to say, okay, well, what actually happened to the price? Well, people got a version on this side as well. So you've got to add them together to be, to say, well, what was maybe you don't want to add them together now because people are just like buying one side or the other, perhaps, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
But back then, I think it's fair to do that.
That's right. I agree. But yeah, we're keen to see some more of these ones here. These big run-ups, which we know, like the other one earlier in 23, we know they can do. And I don't think it's far off the next one happening. It seems to be when the community's at its worst and when everyone sort of, the swords start coming out and they've had a fight and they're just about to, go straight down with the sword in the community. RH just does something, or Godwile comes in, or the OA wallets do something, and it just sort of revives the community while just everything's so far down. So I think we'll get some big pumps, and once we're in the proper part of the bull, which could be, post-halving or pre-halving, like Doz is saying, I reckon we'll really start to see some big moves, and all the cards he's been playing, we'll see them fall into place, or, what cards RH might play, or just the market in general. Even things like, traditional investors coming in to crypto because they see that as the new life raft, or whatever it happens to be. So I think we're just weeks or months away from that.
There's going to be a real effect. There's that real effect of BTC pumping, Ethereum pumping, and then people who hold those tokens selling out and then investing in alts that haven't pumped yet. That's a real thing that tends to happen. That tends to happen now. Do we know exactly when all of this stuff will happen? I think it's hard to, I don't think we can try and predict what's going to happen. And, some people have a it's like their method of doing it is they will go out and just make lots of, if you say everything, if you say if you outline all the possibilities, at some point in the future, you can go back and say, hey, I said that on this date, and that's something that a lot of influencers, a lot of people in markets and crypto do. They just like say a lot of stuff, and then something will come true, right?
That's it. Yeah. Make as many calls as possible and cover all your bases, and something will be true. 100%.
I'm going to make one call. My one call is as a non-toxic hex maxi, a non-toxic hex, maxi. When I say hex maxi, I still hold other stuff as well, mainly RH stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that people who staked in 2021, 3 or more years, will be very happy that they did that. I'm gonna make that call. I think people who staked 2021, 3 or more years, at some stage in the not too distant future, will be happy that they did that.
Yep, I agree. And even if their stakes are longer than that 3-year mark, 5 to 10 years later, I think they'll be even happier. That's for sure. I just think there's so much holding us down at the moment, but I agree with yours. I think it's a good call, and we'll timestamp that and go back on it so we can say you were right.
I've been wrong about plenty of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Plenty of stuff.
No,
that's
right.
why I try not to make too many, like, I don't try not to make any predictions or anything. That's just what I think will happen. Don't invest based on that, you know. Do your own research, obviously. Don't take any, like, that's not advice. That's just what I think is going to happen if I had to call.
Yeah, well, I'll be happy with stakes that I may or may not have at that stage. I believe I will. And if you believe you will, then yeah, that's exactly right. Bob the guy reckons it'll be a nice tingle in the plums if if we're happy at that stage. So getting all bullish. But yeah, I reckon, like Doz is saying back up here, that yeah, hyperphase of the ball, you know, will really get the alts moving, and I think so too. I don't even know if we're looking for so much in the way of a massive pump from Bitcoin anymore. I think, you know, a movement in Bitcoin, the momentum, and then big candles with Ethereum and everything else that's wrapped and tied to it will get things moving nicely.
So we should have a new president of the US by then.
Yep.
So that could have an effect.
I think that'll be great. This guy can't even ride a bike, so let alone do much else. So I think that'll be nice.
Yeah. It's. Did you hear? Paul Keating came out and said, pretty much just said, you know, Biden should retire. He shouldn't go to the next election.
Nice.
You know, because Paul Keating is an 80-year-old guy.
Yeah.
You know, so he's.
I was going to say, when was he in, but yeah, that's
okay. We can, like, when he was in the 80s. He was in the 80s and the early 90s, I think.
Yeah.
In Australia. So going back, he is a few prime ministers ago, but he was one of the guys in Australia that did a lot, like made a lot of reforms, whether you like them or not. You know, some I like and some I don't, but he was definitely someone who had conviction and wasn't just trying to please, you know, powers, you know, his lobbyists or whatever. He had an opinion, and you got to respect people who have conviction. You know,
I agree.
Especially in politics these days, where it doesn't seem like there's any conviction. There's, like, you know,
there's a lot of tiptoeing, isn't there? Yeah,
there's a lot of just, I don't know, mate. Can I talk about something quickly that really, really annoyed me?
Go for it.
I had a discussion with someone from a company about a data breach that occurred, and really their attitude was really, really shit, like extremely shit. I wanted, like, I get upset sometimes with these people. Like, I have to really, like, stop myself from, you know, piffing the phone across the room.
It's fair though, if it's your data or someone you care about.
The way this guy was, I said, you guys got hacked, and you lost. You know, it wasn't my stuff, but I was talking on behalf of some, and just the way that it was like, oh, it was just a data breach. It wasn't a hack. It was a data breach. Oh, yeah. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, you motherfucker. Like, I can't, do you know what I mean? Like, stop downplay. You guys have, like, lost, like, this person's personal private information.
Yeah.
It's out in the ether now forever, thanks to you guys. And you're just acting like it's no biggie. You know,
that's a shocker.
If I could reach into that phone and just go, I would have done it, man. I would have done it.
Well, once again, it has no effect on them personally, and they probably don't understand the things you do or have the concerns you do about your data or someone else's, and just the general view on what should happen with people's data these days. And he didn't care, and their policy is probably just to say this certain thing, and that's it. They can't,
companies
if they get too
don't
emotional.
need. Yeah. Companies do not need all this data of ours. And have you ever called a company, and it's like some you're some call center, you don't know where they are. I don't know who I was talking to recently, and I think it was on stream, and there was like some guy talking to him, and he could hear chickens in the background. Like, who knows where this guy was? This guy was somewhere, but there are chickens in the background, like,
Yeah, and you're talking private information.
And they're like asking you, okay, what's your date of birth? What's this? What's that? What's that? It's like, I don't want. And recently, I was on the phone to someone. This was a different call, just for something, one of my things, and I spoke to them, and they said, "Oh, I just need your date of birth and this and that," and like, can you like authenticate me with any other information apart from that? I don't like authenticating with this information specifically. And he's like, oh, okay, well, what's the registration of your car? What's the model of your car? So I could identify with that information, but they chose to ask me this other information, which is way more sensitive.
Yeah. No, that's shocking. People doing like this whole work from home thing, I mean, in places where they're collecting your private data, that shouldn't be possible anymore. You don't even know where they are, what sort of actions they're taking to keep their network private, or, think devices around them or whatever. They could be using it as another passive income, giving stuff away.
They could be selling your data. Yeah. You don't know if they've just got a notepad on the side writing down all your details as they do it. You don't know. Like, you don't know what
or they're screen recording. They could be screen record, anything at all. That sort of stuff should be in a safe environment.
So recently, I like, for example, in the internet service that you have connected to your home.
Yeah.
Why do we? Can someone please explain to me why we need to give a name, date of birth, this and that and that? Like, if I want to connect an internet to my home, for example, all you need from me is, like, maybe you need me to set up account, in your, on your online, in your back end. You need to set me, email address, set up with a password, all of that, and then the address. And the way to receive the payment. That's all you need from me. You don't need my name, date of birth. Why? Because if there's anything that's going on that's like untoward through that account, where I fucking live. You guys know where I live. So what is the problem?
Exactly. No, I agree with that. Hey,
we're not living in this thing of collecting all this data is this leftover thing that we had from the past, where it was very, very hard to distribute all this data like easily. Now, all this stuff's out there. Once it's out there forever, and you can't rein it back in. That's it. It's gone forever.
Yeah, we're a lot of people are gonna there's gonna be a lot of regret and a lot of realization. Things are gonna turn to shit pretty quick for some people, I think. I've been using Starlink, and it's actually amazing how easy the transaction was and the whole process, even the setting up. Like, if you were using what we've got in Australia, the NBN or anything like that's wired, or even the fixed wireless service, there's so much crap involved with, just the phone call to set it up. You have to give away absolutely all of your information. And then you have to wait on the guy, they charge the installation fee, all this sort of stuff. Starlink, you just go on the website, put your name and address in. I don't remember putting much more than that in. And then
the question is, the real question is, do you even need to put in your real name?
Probably not.
You could probably put in a pseudonym.
I should have done that. Yeah. Just to try it out. You could try and sign up just to give it a dummy shot anyway and see what happens. But they send it out, you plug it in and it works. There's no, crazy installation that needs to be done or anything.
Is it the
Plug
fixed
it in,
one or the mobile one?
fixed one. Yep.
Yep.
Put it
So
up on the
it
roof.
goes in one. It goes in one spot, and
yeah, and you can get repeaters, like mesh sort of routers throughout the house, or wherever you are, and that way you can be on the same network, but it just meshes around the house, which is really good. And then put it on the roof, or you can even just put it out on the ground, out in your yard. Turn it on, it works instantly. Connects to satellites. It just finds the satellite, bang, it's on.
And then it's wired into your home.
Well, they've got wireless routers. You plug into just or a wireless, basically a wireless router.
Do you have to use wireless? Can you plug in an Ethernet into it if you want?
On the new one, on the new one you can. There's a version 2. So I even had issues with the version 1, and I emailed them, and they're like, "Sorry to hear that. We've already sent you a new one. Like now, here's the shipping details," and they just sent a whole new package. So they're really good. I'll tip my hat to them. That's for sure. So
awesome, dude. And like, what's the speed? What are the speeds like?
Pretty crazy. I can't remember exactly what I was. I think it's like 250 megasecond or something. I'm going to run a speed test right now while I'm streaming, and I'll tell you. I hope that doesn't give anyone
250 megabit per second.
Yep.
What's that?
Downloading it. So at the moment, downloading at 150 megabit per second.
Nice.
Even more. It's still going up. Yeah, we got close to 200, and that's while I'm downloading and uploading. But 180 download and 25 upload while I'm streaming.
What is it? Pretty good. Memory, there's like 8 bits in a byte. So what is that? Am I right? Well, I can't remember this stuff. This is like so what's that? 31 megabytes per second.
31.
So isn't it? It's 150 megabit per second. So is that about 31 megabytes per second? I actually, you know what? I shouldn't be talking. I can't remember. I need to look in. I think I was looking at textbooks or something.
It should be.
What it is.
Yeah. You have to look that up. And we're going to bore everyone going through that.
Maybe Bob Lagai knows. Do you know that off the top of your head, Lagai?
He here we go. Yeah, he was saying about hearing a support girl's smoke alarm beeping low. Yeah, that's shocking.
Just sitting in our home, just smoking darts while she's at work, and while she's.
Yeah, there we go. Divide by 8. You can do that.
Yeah.
Where's Dozer? Dozer would have already yelled that out, the answer to us. Yeah. Speaking of all this stuff,
thanks for confirming. I knew that was floating around in my brain somewhere, and I'm glad that you confirmed it.
Yeah. Speaking of all this stuff, we were getting a little bit politicky and whatever. Would you have anything against me sharing a quick video from Randy Halasky?
Go for it.
It's not copyright or anything. It's actually his new intro video, and it's bloody awesome. And I actually thought of you. I thought you'd love it. And so will everyone else. So this is his new intro video, and I just thought it's pretty, we can all relate at the moment. So enjoy this quick song.
Shall we go to Epstein Island? No. Believe the science? No. 15-minute cities? No. And CBDCs? No. Gates is good? No. And GMO food? No. Big Pharma wants health? No. And government's help? No. We ain't asking anymore. We ain't asking anymore. We ain't asking anymore. We ain't asking anymore.
I thought that was
That
just
is
so
wicked.
sick.
That is wicked. I love it. You're right, dude. You know me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. I love
It
it.
is so good. I said like that. Yeah, absolute fire. Just so good. And yeah, I mean, a little bit of a shill. I'm actually in that no permissions group. It's pretty good. For, you know, if you're able to spend a bit of time in the Telegram and stuff, but just that video, I'm not going to go into his stuff too much, but I love his, you know, outlook on things. And he's got the balls to say stuff, which we were even saying, you know, we like in people. And yeah, that video just says it all. So yeah, amazing.
That's awesome. Mate. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So that's on Randy Halasky's channel, is it?
yeah,
Randy
yeah. That
Halasky. Yep. What? Look, you know, probably most people who are watching
yep.
or listening would know Randy, but if you don't, look up Randy Halasky.
Yeah, and he is. Yep, and it's, where are we? Quick shill for Randy. 2 seconds. His X or Twitter page is Pulse Mafia, Randy Halasky. So, but yeah, he does some great stuff. And he's just released a meme coin that's all about that idea of no permissions, and it's called Nope. So yeah, bit of fun and great community, and his streams are pretty good. So check it out every now and then. What else was I going to talk about? How long you got? 43.
Oh, probably got about, not long, man. Probably about 10 minutes.
That's cool. Well, I'll just quickly run through. So we've seen BankX, who hold a lot of eHex at the moment. They've got quite a share that they got from the God Whale who sacrificed for their project. And they've recently just put up a V3 sell wall on Ethereum. So I'll just bring that up quickly and show, where are we? Get this window up. So this was the initial one. This is lots of 50 million roughly eHex from point, basically, what's that? 1.25 penny or 0.0125, right up to the 2.1 cents. So they're
from 2.1 to what's that next?
That's 3.4.
So 2.1 to 3.4 could pump up really, really quickly. Yeah.
So
based on this, is that right?
Well, unless they move, but so this was about, this is off the top of my head, it was probably about 6 days ago that happened, and then now they've put more in. Okay. So it was 350 million, and now they've put in another 300 million going up.
That's everything, isn't it? Is that everything?
I think it's pretty close. I don't have the wallet address to pull up that quickly, but so that one there is from 1.2 cents. We're going all the way up to 3.1. And then there's not much after that. They could always play with it, get rid of, like, you know, move it around or change where they want to sell. So we've got to be careful.
I mean, it's good that it's transparent and we can see what the intentions are. That's a good thing. I mean, you know, I don't want this to sound like FUD or anything, because it's not.
Yeah.
But it's just reality. It happened once. You know, I hope it doesn't happen. Like, I hope that doesn't happen again. Like, I mean, the God Whale obviously can do whatever he or she wants to do. That's the whole point of these systems, is that you do what you want to do. If you want to sacrifice to a thing, you can.
Exactly.
You know, that's the whole point. I hope it doesn't. I can't. I mean, I'm also allowed to have the opinion that I hope it doesn't happen again, because I don't want this shit to happen again. You know, but if it does, it does. We just that's the nature of these systems. You know, these protocols is this. It is what it is. Whatever happens, what people do is we get to live with it. You know.
Exactly. I think we're blessed because we've got copies on PulseChain if we were holding a long time ago, so we can always play the games on there while this is played out. And I just see it as an opportunity to, you know, maybe dip in and buy a bit more, because I don't think it would take much for us to launch past that. If we're in a, you know, proper bull market, like hyper bull, as we've said, prices can double and double very, very quickly. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But they're looking hopefully responsibly getting out. Hopefully they don't pull the liquidity at some point and just dump everything, because, you know, that's sort of stating their intentions, but they could just be playing games as well. You never really know, do you?
I mean, that's a lot of work to do put all those positions in, I guess, if you're just wanting to play game. I doubt it very much. I doubt that they're playing games. They're probably just have listened to the community, and a lot of people in the community were saying, why don't you like just set your version like V3 positions? They're like limit orders pretty much. And when people have to buy through them, you know? So
that's exactly right. We've got Finbear here. Hey mate, how's it going?
What's up, Finbear?
You should have said you could come on this show. I should have actually sent you a message because Doz is not here, and you could have said as many shit jokes as you wanted while he wasn't here. So we know you're good at that, mate. But yeah, Bobbler guy's about to spread rumors. You can't say that and then not tell us the rumor.
I heard a rumor about Lance. Somewhat. I heard a rumor about Lance from Bank X, supposedly confirmed, but I haven't done the digging to confirm myself. A somewhat favorable rumor. I think you should share this rumor. It's not a rumor. I mean, we all right. Let's just say it's a rumor, right? So we don't know if it's true or not. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's true. So I think you should share, mate. Come on, spit it out. There's only like 13 people here. Come on, man. It's like, who's going to know?
That's it. And that
like
the guy,
13 of us.
The guy with that mullet couldn't afford 600 million hex either. So, yeah, come on, spit it out.
He and Michael Saylor used to work together.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You reckon Michael Saylor would? I wonder what a conversation with RH and Michael Saylor would go like. In recent times. Yeah, interesting. Oh well. So Michael Saylor, what he wants to? He said there's no second best, didn't he?
Yeah, he said that there's no second best, but you know, it's clearly Bitcoin the second best to Hex.
That's right. That's right. There's only a number one, and it's definitely Hex.
Well, third best. We should say third best or fourth best. Oh, we're going to count them down. They're like it's sixth best. Sixth.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, well, that's interesting. Let us know what happens, Bobbler guy. You can break the news. Do it next Friday, or come on the Hex Late Show. I hear there's only 2 left. Do it on that one.
Only 2 left. Only 2 Hex Late Shows left.
It's the worst news I've ever heard. Tell you that much.
No, don't be silly. Don't be silly.
I don't know.
We've been doing it for ages, man. Since 2020, we've been doing it, and you know, we did it for a while. We started in June. We didn't even start numbering them until later in the year. Like in you know, I don't think we even started numbering them until September or something.
Yeah,
but like we started in June. We didn't even. That's how much noobs we were. We just didn't even know like that we should number them. We're just doing them week by week.
Oh, it's so good. You guys have put in so much effort, and watching, you know, getting into Hex myself. Once I found, you know, you guys on Discourse Syndicate, that was just like, I'm set. I found Aussies that I can relate to, you know, that I can, really get what's going on. And you speak clearly and didn't just speak about crypto and Hex, which I really enjoyed hearing. Much broader conversation than just technicals about Hex. So yeah, it was so good to stumble across what you guys were doing.
When did you first come across Hex?
Early 2021, unfortunately, is when I found out. It was right at
Unfortunately.
Yeah, because I should have known about
Fortunately.
it. I should have known about it a couple of years before.
Oh yeah,
When it was COVID and I was sitting around for a bit would have been nice. But no, I was great. So happy to hear it, find out about it. But it was right at the PulseX sacrifice. So now, being where we are and what's transpired, I'm actually really happy about that move because it meant that I got Pulse at a really good price versus sacrificing it at a higher price if I decided to get in then. I know if you had Hex from a lot earlier on, people are still doing okay with that. But being someone getting in at that time, I'm glad I didn't, go ape in at the Pulse or PulseX sacrifice. It's definitely been good for a newcomer's side of the market. So that's worked well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a good question here. Is Unwrecked coming back?
That's a good question. It's not like it. He hasn't been asked. I think when I spoke to him, he was open to the idea, but he's got a lot of stuff on. So I at this point I just don't know whether he can make it or not. But he's definitely been worded up. I told him how important it was for him to come back. I said it is so important that you're here for the last episode. It's so important. If you're not there, it will feel weird,
Yeah. So he's got a lot of stuff on, but the people around him in the background don't always. Is that right? Is that right? On the streams, he can get a bit of a loose unit, eh? But he's good. Love it.
Oh, that was hilarious. If you saw some of these streams back in the day, like Unwrecked, he just had like, I think there was one stream where he just had like this woman who had been having a shower and she comes out of the bathroom and she's just wearing her knickers and a towel, and it was just and he's just like, the thing is that he was just like, oh yeah,
Yeah. Was that at the top? Where was that in the market cycle?
Because I don't.
If it was up there, he could have been super chilled, and just not worried him at all. So, which I know not much seemed to worry him with his sort of attitude. He was good.
Yeah, he's got a great attitude. Great attitude. But just to Bobbler guy, I contacted him. I contacted him and said, "Hey mate, do you want to? I saw you on a stream. Do you want to jump on a stream together and us do a stream? Like we can?" Because this was at a time when that's what they was like. People in the community were saying, like, guys, you got to get out there and talk about this stuff, right? You got to go talk. That's how you get the word out. Go and talk about it. So I think ultimately, that's what we did. We got in the stream, and then a few episodes later, we decided on a name, because at the beginning we were just calling it whatever, and then we decided on the Hex Late Show.
Bloody good name to it.
And then we just look. I think we thought that we would probably onboard more people, like get more views or whatever. Our views are still not that high, but I have to say it's been a lot of fun, and having, I think if anything, it's been like this little hub for the Australian Hex community.
Absolutely.
It's been this little hub, and it's been just a point of reference, and it's made it what, like when we talk about community, what's a community? It's where people get together and talk about stuff, and you get to know people. We see the regular people in the chat every week. It's been fun, and ultimately, if people didn't come along and watch, we wouldn't have done it for this long. That's for sure. But yeah, look, just because the show comes to its it's, I think, a natural end. There'll be other things in future. There'll be other things in future.
Sure.
And 200 is a good number.
Hell yeah. No, it's a massive number. And you're not logging off. That's the thing. It's just, time for a bit of a break on that, having to be that consistent and that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't know if you said, I don't know if
you guys do a bit more.
Oh, sorry, you go. Yeah.
You go, mate.
Yeah. No. Hey, this is cool. Pretty, different feeling. Jumping in and trying to give it a run. So anyone that's come in just recently, this is my first ever time of actually having the reins of the show and trying to talk my ass off, which I'm not normally too good at. So thanks.
You're doing an excellent, mate. You're doing an excellent job. Excellent job. I haven't even, not once in this stream have I thought to myself, like, you're not handling. You're doing just fine, mate. Don't worry about it.
That's awesome. Thanks. I don't know if you were saying it, the Hex Late Show was like a hub or a pub, because I got that feeling of like, it is like a pub, like everyone just hanging out. Literally just hearing.
Maybe both, mate. Maybe both.
Just having, just hearing everyone chat amongst themselves about what's going on, in the world, but also, in crypto, and maybe not onboarding a whole heap, but you guys definitely, help me through getting into it and learning more. And hearing you on Tangent talking to technicalities and stuff is bloody awesome too. So, and
Jexa and Bluey, and Sammy, and and a few. I mean, there's other people who've come on the show in the beginning. Who else? Do you know middle class working man?
No, I haven't seen. I don't think so. Don't think I've seen him on at all. But yeah,
no, he came on the show like a couple of times. Also. Who else came? Hex Mac came on the show a couple of times.
Oh, yep. And you've had Mayo on quite a few times as well.
Mayo's been on heaps of times. There's been a few guests. I mean, back in the early days, and I don't even know where this video is, but do you remember that video with Nerd Girl in the in the tank top with Hex on it?
Yeah.
So that was Unwrecked who organized that. That
was
him.
Okay.
He actually sent her the stuff in the mail over to the US to do that. So that was I'm not sure I'm not sure how they came to the agreement, but he Unwrecked did that. And that's I wish we had that video. Like, I don't even know where that video is. I don't know if Nerd Girl still wants it to be played, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it seems like she might have changed the way she's trying to come across a bit, but she does good stuff as well.
I'm pretty sure she's like is a Hex holder at least.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
No. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Even like Johnny Chaos and other people coming on. Are you going to do like a montage? Like a montage video or something for the last one?
Ooh.
Come on, it's a lot of work, but you can do it,
bro.
Get on DaVinci. Come on, someone in the community, we'll pass that one off. Someone make a montage for the Hex Late Show, and it's so not going to be
work.
It's a lot of work.
Bro, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, it would be awesome. I would love to see that. Someone can put something like that together.
That's
just very.
So much work.
Yeah,
I don't know, mate. I don't know if I have the time. That would take. Yeah.
No, I get you. Hey, I know you've got to go shortly, but I was hoping Jackson might have, he said he was pretty tied up this Arvo, but if he did come on, I was going to get him to go into more detail about it. But I just wanted to bring up the barista .io that's just come out. So this is can be used as a second front end for liquid loans, which is really good because, there's people out there, if you're putting a fair bit into liquid loans or, you've got your collateral at a dodgy or not dodgy, but at a risky position, having a second front end is always nice, just in case the other one, something happens or the other one fails. So this is not only a second front end, but you've also got the auto rebalancing here for your USDL. So Jaxa could have gone into it a lot more in detail, or if Ty was still on. So I'm not going to go in too far, but just saying that I know that if you were to put your USDL in there in the stability pool, on liquid loans, normally you're going to have to claim your loan and your PLS all the time with your rewards. But this one will auto rebalance, basically sell your PLS back for USDL and send that back through again every time there's a certain balance there. So that's really good, and it saves you being a click monkey, saves on gas fees, which at the moment isn't a big thing. But yeah, that's really cool. And you also get a bonus. You get, I think, Bean token maybe while you're doing that. But anyway, something for people to look into. Do you know much about that 143?
I don't. But yeah, I guess that's just an extra reason for us to get Ty on at some stage to talk us through Stakehouse, and that once Stakehouse is launched, mate. Yeah, I'd love to stick around longer, but I really have to head off.
All right. You head off.
Cool. Are you gonna keep going for a bit?
I'll go for a few more minutes. I got another video that I want to sort of put up. But yeah, I'll stick around for a sec. And yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It's been good.
Thanks, dude. I really appreciate it. Cheers.
No worries.
Did a great job, mate. Did a great job.
Thanks, man. Have a good weekend.
See ya.
Catch. All right. And then there was one. So here we go. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. I just wanted to also show a couple of cool things. This is another one that shows sort of like I was saying about the life raft of crypto and how we think and we can see a lot of people deciding to come across and really knowing that it might be the real deal for the future, knowing what's going on with banking systems and, you know, all the things people have been saying in the chat when it gets to politics, and people having control. Same with the no permissions type thing we were talking about earlier. But this is from Adam Stokes, which I know a lot of you out there like. And it was just a good snippet of him talking about with an analogy of the life raft and people sort of on a sinking ship. So tell me if you like this one. I quite enjoyed it.
But more importantly, why is there now $500 million going into this space every business day just from those institutional investors, just from the ETFs? You know, how much more proof do you need? Why is there so much development on this? How is this going to fit into AI? Why is there so much demand on Web3 developers and blockchain product developers? And it's like, oh, it's a scam. It's like, man, you can't help them. I often think of the analogy also of Noah's Ark. So in the beginning, just as whether you're religious or not, but you may know the story of Noah's Ark. Noah believes there's a flood coming, or he can foresee there's a flood coming. So he builds this big ark, this big boat, and he invites everyone to help or get on board. But everyone's laughing at him. And eventually, of course, the floods come, and those who were there and helped him and helped build the ark, they were on safely. But even at the very last minute, when the floods are coming, he's like, quick, everyone get on. He still opens the gates and says, everyone come on the ark. That's what I see with Bitcoin and fiat. Bitcoin is Noah's Ark, or the life raft. And the tsunami of catastrophe is the collapse of fiat. And what's actually happening is the tsunami is coming through and wiping out all of these nations, all of these businesses, all of these individuals. And here we are on the ark or on the lifeboat, and we're saying, quick, come on board. And as these people are drowning in the tsunami of the fiat inflation corruption, and we're saying, come on board, we're here to help you. They're like, it's a and they're flooding and they're drowning in the water. And as they're drowning, and we're trying to lift them up onto the lifeboat, saying, you're still welcome on the Bitcoin lifeboat. You're welcome on the Bitcoin ark. They're still saying, no, it's a scam. And they fall to the bottom of the ocean and they drown. That's the analogy I give with the tsunami of inflation decimating the world and the life raft or ark of Bitcoin saving everyone. And they just won't believe it. They will not believe that fiat is the scam, banks are the scam, centralized bodies are the scam, and decentralization is the antithesis and the savior for all of us.
All I can say to that is amen, sister. Stokesy, you do amazing. And I just think that analogy, not only is it hilarious with the bubble noises there, the big scary bubbles, but I just think that's so true. And we're here to save people. Anyone needs to ask questions. There's, you know, a massive community out here with Hex and PulseChain. And there's just so many people you can ask. You jump on Twitter, into live streams, ask your questions, only friendly responses you get, you know. I think, yeah, this is the way to go for the future, that's for sure. And I thought I'd also just quickly show two more things. One is where we're at price-wise at the moment. It's nothing too exciting right now, but PulseX is still at 4 zeros and a 485 there, which is just below half of sacrifice. Ink is holding up. It's been above $3 lately, but just sort of sitting down at the moment. And that's PHEX there at 1.5 cents. So hopefully we can get that moving a bit in the future, and it's going to be exciting times once we start to see it really pumping up. I've got one more thing just before leaving, and I want to thank everyone for being out here and being in the chat. So awesome. And yeah, first time out here. So Dozer, you're going to owe me a beer when I see you next, whether it's over your side of the country or mine. But we should have a meet up again soon. This is just another video from Scott Foster Harris. He's done some awesome songs around PulseChain and that. He's also a fellow sort of Christian bloke. But yeah, he does some awesome music. Not 100% sure about the eyeballs at the camera the whole time, but this is a cool little song. I won't play the whole thing, but hope you like this one. Just all about Pulse and Hex. It's called Hexico.
It's fun to watch Hex pumping up the charts. It's left behind all kinds of broken hearts who didn't buy the dip, who didn't DCA. And now that we're on a rip, it's hard to look away. Now I'm not the one to hand out free advice, but as for me, I wouldn't dare think twice about buying a bag, since we're still somewhat down. This rocket ship's about to break the speed of sound. You know these wheels are starting to roll. Best to sit back and just enjoy the show, 'cause we're about to ride that train into the heart of Hexico. Now, I tip my hat to everyone who minds. You're getting paid out while you're killing time. It makes room for a nice vacation to the beach, perhaps a celebration now that you are rich. Ha ha! Ignore the haters who all called you crazy. You studied hard while they were being lazy. Now you're packing bags, about to take a ride up on that rocket ship, mooned up and starry-eyed. I feel these wheels are starting to roll. Best to sit back and just enjoy the show, 'cause we're about to ride that train into the heart of Hexico. Now that we're summer bound and the sun is bright, I see that it's not round but rather has 6 sides. It's a work of art that's written into code, designed by Richard Hart to make our bags explode. You know these wheels are starting to roll. Best.
All right, I'll get rid of that. Hope you like that song. I thought that was just so good. That's what's so amazing about this, about this community. People not only just being technical and knowing things about dev work and crypto. We've got people making amazing music. When this eventually goes with the, we get into the bull run and people really start to see the light with the PulseChain. We've got everything for them. Amazing music, great streamers, all the good front ends that look amazing. We've got people that make, like Robert McNaughton, that makes backgrounds like mine, all sorts of AI stuff, and all for free. No one's asking for anything for these things. And we got people like 43 that, started back in the day and just wanted to tell people about Hex at that stage, and now PulseChain, and then, moving things on to other people where we've got, amazing streamers from there. And I'm pretty privileged to be one of those that's been handed the reins, even though it's nerve-wracking. So thanks for this one here. Rice, is it? Or Reese? Love it, man. Thank you. And we got free speech with some beers. it's almost time because I'm out. So I'll be leaving you guys any second. So feel free to log off before me because I know it's boring as hell. But yeah, we'll be back another time. Thanks everyone for being here tonight. Thanks again, Dozer and Klaz. Hope you're having a great time. Enjoy Hexaco, and we'll see you again soon. Signing out. Cheers, guys. See ya.